Call to order. Please rise for the flag salute. Chief Cahill, will you please start us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I should have said lead us. Sorry. Okay, Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kribel, let the record reflect Commissioner Kribel is absent. Commissioner Landgraf,
Here.
Mayor Holtzman.
Here. Pursuant to the Open Publics Meeting Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the law. Unfortunately, for the people out in the Zoom and the few people in the audience, the first order of business is we're going to go into an executive session where we have to ask everyone to leave. And then we'll bring you back in. It won't be that
We
long.
won't be that long.
No. Okay?
We do anticipate
Yes.
coming out and taking action.
Yeah, we will be
Correct.
taking action on something when we come out. So if you could just wait out in the hallway, thank you. Does Mike have to be out? No.
That's what we're gonna do.
You
You can
stay,
stay.
you stay, you stay. Sit.
Motion to go in exec.
Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act permits the discussion of certain matters. I had the wrong emphasis on that word. Certain matters within executive session as an exception to certain provisions of said law. Ventnor City Board of Commissioners wishes to discuss certain matters which qualify as exceptions in executive session. No action binding upon the Board of Commissioners will be taken within the executive session, and discussion conducted in closed session will be disclosed to the public when legally permitted and when the public interest will no longer be served, but keeping such matters confidential. Matters to be discussed are matters relating to collective bargaining agreements, FMBA.
Okay.
Anybody out?
Session, we discussed resolution number 2022-321, a resolution to the city of Ventnor,
Leave it open.
County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, approving a memorandum of agreement between the city of Ventnor and FMBA Local 38, effective January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2025, and authorizing the execution of the final agreement consistent with the same.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2022-321?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-321.
I'll second it. Lisa, roll call.
Commissioner Landgraf,
I vote in favor. I think this was a really excellent contract for both sides. Want to thank publicly Leon, Nicole, Chief Cahill, and Maria Mento for their work on this, as well as the FMBA side too.
I'll
It's
ditto
fair.
that.
I think it's fair for
I
everyone.
think it's great. I think it's a great contract and it is fair on both sides. It's fair for the workers as well as the city and taxpayers. So I'll second it. Roll call. Oh, you did it
You
already.
just need to vote.
you just got Mayor Holtzman.
Yes.
I threw her off with my comment.
You
See
did.
that?
You messed me up with your comment.
Well, I
man.
thought it was worthwhile saying it. It's,
You threw me off.
well, it's good.
Okay. You're messing
Executive
me up today.
executive session's done.
Executive session is done. Okay, so we do not have any presentations tonight, nor do we have department heads, but we do have our CPA, Leon Costello, from Ford Scott and Associates here. He's going to discuss our capital.
Yeah.
Anybody else getting frostbite? My gosh, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Tim.
Tim? Perfect. The other one. Thank you.
And these just extrapolate out what the other spreadsheets from the capital improvements.
Oh, yeah, that's.
This is our stuff that we reviewed to show that exactly where the dollars are.
Plan.
So what you have in front of you is what we've been doing now for the past, how long you been in office? 5 years, 6 years?
Six and a half.
Past 6 years, we started this and we're still following through with it. And what the purpose of this is to show the impact of capital expenditures on the city's finances. And you just showed me a sheet, Lance, with all the details in it. I have the buckets of how much money is available. What goes in those buckets is
Right.
what's on it.
This is what we want to know
Yeah,
about.
right.
And you tell us how it works.
Right. So the chart that you have in front of you shows our existing principal interest payments that are due right now, projected bond anticipation note payments, and other is, I'll explain in a minute. And three more issues coming up, one in 25, one in 28, and one in 2031. There's 17 million, 6 million, and 19 million worth of buckets of expenditures that we can do over this period of time and relatively maintain the same tax rate for debt service. You'll see that there's an increase next year of over 400,000, but we also have a premium that we received, 575, I think. 575. That will offset that, help to offset that. So the plan's been in place. We're continuing on it. Let's see,
Leon, this includes the two ordinances with the additional bonds.
yeah, that's what I'm going to, in the back, you have two short pages.
Gotcha.
The first short page is the bond anticipation note that we have right now, $4.5 million for projects that you've already authorized. The second page shows the new ordinance. I didn't have the number of it. It's 2022 dash whatever it's going to be.
Right.
And that's another $5.5 million. The two items, the 14 million and the 4.5 million, fit into the program that we have laid out. That was the purpose of showing that.
Gotcha.
And we do have the room for two additional sales as we go forward. We're not going to stop doing capital. If you think that's going to happen, you have blinders on. You're always going to need to do capital stuff to maintain infrastructure, and it just goes and goes and goes. The one thing that Maria had mentioned about the school, we have plenty of capacity at the school for the capital projects that they may need. I think she had between $1 and $2 million they're going to ask for. That's fine. That will work into our plan, which has also been very successful the past 5 years. Maintaining the school tax levy and keeping the debt service of the school under control. So that's been extremely successful, and there's no reason that's going to stop. So all in all, what we started out to do 6.5 years ago, and you did a lot of ordinances and a lot of capital since you've been in office, and we've been able to maintain very strong financial stability with it. And it comes from planning. It's not, off the seat of your pants doing stuff. We do this over and over again. Every year we have an update on this. Every year we go through this little exercise as to where you stand. So I'm happy with the results. The two ordinances, I think you can go ahead and pass and know that we're going to fit them into the program.
Great.
I think that was the purpose of tonight.
It was, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leon. And you put us on that path.
Yes, you
You gave us
did.
great guidance for this. I think you used Galloway Township as an example for us to get us out of the hole that we were in.
Right.
And I think we've done that very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And able to do things that we have to do.
You have to do the
We don't have the
infrastructure.
money sitting in the bank.
I mean,
And you have to keep your capital. You have to keep doing that. And
it is.
this is my 48th year doing this. And I will tell you, from town to town to town, the public likes to see capital projects. That's because that just betters the town, betters their value, et cetera, et cetera. So if you get grief for doing capital projects, it's ill-fate. It's not something that needs to be done from the public. They really like capital stuff. You've done a good program. You've been cleaning up everything, and there's no reason to stop.
Thank you. Good. You good?
Yeah, I just want to, just so the public knows what we're talking about. Some of the items that we are, there's two different bond ordinances we're
Tonight.
looking at.
Yes.
There's significant amount of dollars in each one of these. Just some of the highlights of these.
Want to do it when I do the ordinance?
Yeah, I guess we can do it
Do
then.
it that way?
Yeah, that's fine.
I think so. So it correlates right
Yep.
to it.
Good idea.
Okay.
This was more just his report. That's right.
Is that good?
Yep.
Perfect.
Good with that.
Okay.
Thanks, Leon.
Thanks, Leon.
Yes,
And you
you're
are
welcome.
free to go.
Thank you. Always a pleasure coming over here.
Always a pleasure. Okay. So for the people out in Zoom and the people in the audience tonight, just so you know, we go through a workshop portion of the meeting. And then we go into our regular meeting where we vote. There will be public portions where people can speak. So if you choose to speak, I'll explain what you can speak on. And just so you know, if you're out there in Zoom, if you choose to speak, you use the thing where you raise your hand and our tech person tonight, Cindy, will allow you in. If she doesn't see any hands raised, then we move on. There, Cindy, you don't even have to say it tonight. So the first thing we will be voting on later on tonight is are the minutes to the August 25th regular meeting, September 8th regular meeting, and we did have October 4th, a special meeting. The next thing is an ordinance introduction, which is 2022-019. That's amending and supplementing chapter 214, section 61, parking meter zones of the code of the city of Ventnor. Excuse me. I have one question. When I read through the detail of ordinance, it says year round 8 to 8. Now, either I get a pink slip or I'm losing my mind, but I thought we did 8 to 8 from like Memorial Day to Labor Day, and then it was 8 to 6 after that.
I think it was always 8 to 8.
Was it?
We changed that a few years back. I'm
Did
pretty
we?
sure. I think so.
I think we do a resolution. We haven't done one yet this year
For the holiday period.
for the holiday, and I do think we.
Stop it at
If
6
you wish, I think we put in there for the winter hours, 8 to
to
6.
6.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think you're right about
But we haven't done it yet.
Okay. So I'm not totally
Right, so
gone
I believe this is correct. And
But we would
you
then
do
have-
a Resolution.
Yeah,
that
for 8 to
precedes
6.
it,
I got it.
Just for that year, depending if that's. your
Perfect.
wish.
it. Right.
All right. So that was one question. The other thing is, I guess, basically this limits the hours people can be at a meter in the business districts, correct?
Correct.
Just
Yep.
that sums it up.
It,
So-
it stops people from parking in our business areas.
All day to go to the
Go to the
beach.
beach and take up that spot that we want to turn over.
Exactly.
We want to turn those over.
Do you go with that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next, we're gonna have a public hearing and then adoption of ordinance 2022-017. And the first one, that one is appropriating 1.475, authorizing the issuance of bonds and notes to finance part of, and this is the utility capital improvement. And Lance, you want to just do a
Yeah.
quick snapshot of some projects?
So I'm looking at. Which one is right? Yeah.
Yeah, here, I
I'm
did
looking
it
at the
here,
spreadsheet.
here.
It's hard to pull up. So
I did it right this way.
I got it here. So we're looking at acquisition and installation as applicable, various equipment, acquisition of non-passenger vehicles, new fire hydrants, water meters, excavator, shower equipment for the boardwalk, which is good. We try to replace the older ones that are just the copper pipes with the newer style that we have up there on some of the
Pretty one.
street corners. The pretty ones, yes. Fuel tank for the emergency generator at the main utility plant. That one is being replaced. We're working on that process now. Utility infrastructure improvements at various locations throughout the city. Improvements to drinking water well number 5, security upgrades at City Hall, Public Works, installation of air conditioning at main utility plant, replacement of wastewater pump at Public Works, pump station, and various water and sewer improvements throughout the city. That's a total of 1.475 million.
Perfect. Thank you. And the next is 2022-118, and that is appropriating 5.873 million, authorizing the issuance of 5.79350 bonds and notes to finance part of general. You know that too, right?
Yes, I do. So
Okay.
that's, again, various facilities, including infrastructure improvements, recreational improvements, drainage improvements, boardwalk improvements, beach improvements, bulkhead and roadway improvements, acquisition and installation of equipment and non-passenger vehicles for police, emergency services, fire and public works departments, construction of a band shelter, and various other improvements to beach headquarters.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Then we will move on to resolutions that we will vote on by consent. Actually, it goes to 306 to
23.
323,
Yes,
but we're going to exclude 321 because we did that, correct? That was the
correct.
FMB.
321.
Did you say?
320 and 321 were
Right.
done prior.
Right, 320 and 321. 320 was going into the executive session.
Right.
Right, okay, so first resolution is 2022-306, and that's supporting the Knockout Opiate Abuse Day, which is October 6th, 2022. We do this every year. Next is 2022-307, approving the submission of the grant application, execute a grant agreement with the Automated License Plate Reader Initiative Grant. I like that. The next
Yeah,
is.
it's a good
yeah.
program to get
Yep.
involved with.
The next is 2022-308, in state of New Jersey, authorizing the adoption of the formal application for special events. Next is 2022-309, authorizing the New Jersey Board of Public Utility grant application for electric vehicle charging stations.
Yep.
Next, 2022-310, and that's New Jersey authorizing closing out escrow accounts.
The planning
Self-explanatory.
board escrow accounts.
Planning board, yes, planning board escrow account. The next is 2022-311, and that is state of New Jersey authorizing a refund for water and sewer overpayment. Next, 2022-312, and that is authorizing the approval to submit a grant application to execute a grant agreement with the United States Department of Homeland Security for the fiscal year 2022 flood mitigation assistance program. Want to say anything on that? Or you're good, Lance?
Ed, is that's a lot of our sewer, stormwater infrastructure improvement stuff and
It is, yes. This application and the next resolution authorizes application for funding for the stormwater improvements at the lower Ventnor Heights as a result of that resiliency study, which we're still finalizing, but this is to put the applications in motion.
Great, thank you.
what he's talking about is mainly Dorset Avenue near the bridge.
Yes,
And then
where it
down
floods.
Edgewater
Right,
and across over to Derby and even down, I think, Calvert Avenue as well.
yes,
So we had an engineer go out there and survey the area, inventory all the inlets, inventory all the bulkhead elevations. I'm going to meet, I think, next Friday with that engineer and Ed and go over that program and see. There's going to be some heavy questions that we have to answer that some other communities have put in place. And we have to look at that and see how far we want to go with it and how far we can go with it.
Okay.
So it's a problem area in our community. The problem is the answer might be just too costly, not just to us,
Right.
to homeowners. So
Yeah.
We'll take a look at that and I'll report back after that meeting. And we're going to apply for the money because we're going to do something.
exactly.
So
Great, perfect. Okay, as Ed already said, resolution 2022-313 is authorizing approval submission of a grant application, execute a grant agreement with the United States Department of Homeland Security for the fiscal year 2022 FEMA Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities BRIC program.
it's the brick.
And you already explained that, Ed, so we're good. Okay. The next is 2022-314, and this is authorizing the hiring of Robert White as a laborer. Public
Yep.
Works.
Rob's worked with us for several years as a summer laborer. He will be coming in to start early to replace someone who's going to retire in the new year.
Good.
So
Sounds good.
get him trained up.
Exactly. Cross training, important. The next is 2022-315, and that's authorizing a change order number 2 for the final concrete gutter replacement and drainage repair project.
It's a reduction of about $4,500 from the
I like those change orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when they have a little.
Trust me,
minus.
we'll spend it somewhere
Yeah, a
else.
little
We'll fi-
minus.
We'll find some other gutter and curb that needs to get done
Exactly.
somewhere and we'll do it. So
The next is 2022-316, and that's authorizing the assignment and assumption of a membership interest regarding accepting and awarding the bid for Ocean Draft LLC for one, I'm not saying the word, Lance. Plenary.
you got it.
Oh, good. Retail consumption liquor license to be issued by the city commissioners of the city of Ventnor.
And that's just a change of the ownership of the LLC.
Yes.
And I see Tony here, so we'll.
Gotcha. The next is 2022-3. Why did you say 3-1 on my thing? It's 317. I'm sorry, I didn't highlight the 7. That's my fault. And that's authorizing hiring part-time school traffic guards, which we do every year. The next is 2022-318, and that is promoting provisionally appointing Amy Stover to our controller. She's here tonight. And she's going to take the head of finance and with Al's assistance part-time on the side. With all the confidence in the world, Amy comes to us with 20-something, close to 30 years of county,
Dating her.
I'm sorry, of county
And she's
finance.
been here. It's not like she's new to us. She's been here.
She's been here. Amy's been here. Amy actually, along with Al, took over payroll when we found ourselves lost when the person had to go out on a leave. She's willing and able to do anything. She's close to getting her certification as CFO, and nothing is too much for her to do. So she's been a great asset to the city of Ventnor.
And a star pickleball player I saw last Friday.
Our pickleball player, yeah, I would have probably killed myself.
It was a blast.
The next is 2022-319, and this is authorized hiring. I call her, I'll say Quinn. A Harvey as a senior accountant. This I am excited for because this is also someone that is coming from the county government. However, she left the county and went somewhere else, so they can't say I stole her. But she comes to us with a major background in payroll, detail kind of work in payroll, not just inputting time. She's got grant experience and receivable as well as other things, and worked with Amy for years. And I knew her from afar, but knew that she was not only personable, but she was a hard worker and she's very intelligent. She also has the classes needed for CFO. So we are, as I said, I think Nanette wrote in an article, I like to build up that finance department to be a strong finance department with accountants. Through attrition, if we lose clerical staff, you replace them with accounting titles, because an accountant can do clerical work and a clerical person cannot do accounting work. So I'm really excited about this. We good?
Absolutely. I
Okay.
like the hires and the promotion. So
Yep, thank you. Next is, so actually my areas are getting a little colorful now because they've been so boring. Not in a bad way, because they run so well. But
accounting, and that should be boring.
I know.
We don't need any excitement in there.
That's true, but that's true. It's exciting to me. Accounting is exciting to me. And you're right. You're absolutely right. We don't need
Don't want
excitement.
excitement in
No.
finance.
And as I said, I mean, every department, and I'm not putting down any other department, but I think the finance department of any business organization, including government, is your backbone. You have to have a clean house, and it is their responsibility is not just to the city, but ultimately to the taxpayers. So to have a strong finance department is really important to me, and probably because that's my background. But then we will have approval of our bills and payroll, and then we
We got
have.
two resolutions. We got 321,
322 and 323.
322 and
Yes,
323.
that's right. That's right. We have two add-ons, and they're from Ed Stinson. He's the only one I let add on at the bench, because other than that, it gets me annoyed. Anyway, resolution 2022-322, and that is rejecting all bids in connection with the proposed Ventnor City Fish and Pier kiosk, and authorize the city to rebid.
It came in way too high.
Way too high. Yeah, like have a stroke high. So that's that resolution. And the next one is resolution 2022-323. And that's rejecting all bids in connection with the Ocean Avenue curb and sidewalk replacement and paving improvements, and authorize the city to rebid.
There
And I
was a-
assume they came in too high.
There was Ed, how would you explain that?
The low bidder withdrew
Right.
his bid, stating a clerical error in his
Clerical.
in
that's
his
what I was
numbers.
for.
And unfortunately, he had a good number, and even, without that error, he would still have been the low bidder, but that's not the process. It's
So we have to.
to reject the bids. The second bidder came in too high, above the engineer's estimate and above our funding.
Thank you.
So we're going to quickly rebid that, hopefully word that first meeting in November, Ed? Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay, so then we Okay, I said bills and payroll, no discussion items. So now we have the public portion. This is open to the public when we open it up. This is for anything that I mentioned that we will be voting on. As soon as we close the workshop and go into our regular meeting. So if there's anyone out there that would like to speak. If you're here in the chambers, you come up to the mic, state your name and address. We try to limit it to a couple minutes. If somebody needs more than a couple minutes, that's when you set up a meeting with the appropriate commissioner. Same thing for the people out in Zoom. Put your hand up if you want to speak. So do I have a motion to go to public portion?
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's now open to the public for anything that I spoke on that we will be voting on. Nobody in the audience? Anybody, Lisa, out there? I mean, not Lisa, Cindy?
Cindy.
No.
It's like with the kids and the dogs. You say everybody's name before you get to the right one. Okay, there a motion to close public portion.
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have a motion to close the workshop portion of the meeting and call to order the regular meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have approval of minutes do I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 25th, 2022, September 8th, 2022, and the special meeting we had on October 4th, 2022?
Well, can you do both of them? All of them?
You're all, both of you were there.
Yeah.
present for-
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Langgraf?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next is our ordinance introduction, which is 2022-019. Do I
Make a-
have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 2022-019.
I will second it. Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Langgraf?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next is the public hearing of 2022-017. This is if anybody in the public would like to speak on this ordinance. Do I have a motion to open to the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, anyone want to speak on this? No? Okay, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Next is the adoption of ordinance 2022-017. Do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2022-017.
I will second it. Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Langgraf?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Excuse me. Next is a public hearing on 2022-018. Do I have a motion to open to the public?
I'll make a motion to open to the public ordinance 2022-018.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Anyone like to speak on this?
None.
No?
Make a motion to close.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is the adoption of ordinance 2022-018. Do I have a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2022-018.
I'll second it. Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Langgraf?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next are the resolutions by consent. Do I have a motion to adopt resolutions 2022-306 through 2022-323, eliminating 320 and 321?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Langgraf?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Who has our bills and payroll? Amy or Al?
You got it. You want me to? do it?
Okay, go for it, Al.
All right, the bill list for this period was $1,486,101.66. And the payroll for this period was $657,653.27.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve bills and payroll stated from our part-time CFO?
I'll make that motion.
Lisa, I'll second it. Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Langgraf?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Okay, we don't do the safety report now. It's up to the commissioner and comments and reports. I just have one thing, Lance,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Nope.
Okay, which is good news. I was very excited over this. Of course, because it's numbers and they're boring to most people. But I received from the State Department of Taxation, the equalized values for 2022. So the assessed values of the properties in Ventnor were $2,095,551,980. That's what they were assessed at. What they sold at was $2,530,859,879, an increase of 43 $1,530,789, 21% increase of what houses were assessed for compared to what they sold. That's great, but we have to be careful because of the ratio issue. We only went down 8 points. If you go down 10 points, the state can force you to do a revow.
I don't want to do that right
We
now.
don't want to do that, no. So that's great news. It's great for the homeowner selling. But we have to be careful because you're teetering on an issue where we don't want to have to do a revow that is mandated by the state because of the ratio. But the ratio is actually in line with and so are the assessed values compared to the sale values across the county. So it's not like we're sticking out. It's across the county. But I was excited because it
No, the values are up. That's good.
a lot more
People want to be here. They want to live
people
here.
want to be here. Yes. So that's all I had to say. I was excited.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And you, sir?
Got a couple things. As many of you have seen, if you've driven Ventnor Avenue over the last few days, the county signal project has been delayed. They ran into some conflicts with stormwater management and utilities. We were supposed to meet this week. We're going to meet next Tuesday now with them and try and go over those issues and try and resolve them in a better way than what was suggested. I'll leave it at that. There's conflicts with underground utilities. We're trying to work that out. We're finalizing the band shelter design for bid. We first had a nice design and then some music people told us that it might create echoes. So we went back and looked at some other things. So we're
Acoustics.
acoustics. Yeah. So we're making sure that that's correct and getting that finalized so we can go out to bid hopefully next month.
Great.
We already did the rejecting of bids for the pier kiosk. We still want to keep that moving because we want to get that done for next summer. Some fun news that I saw today. We want to wish a happy 100th birthday to Betty Sable Matz. She turned 100 today.
Yes.
Funny story. I read it in the Nets article about her that she actually thought her birthday for years was October 14th. But she looked at a birth certificate at some point in time for something, a passport, and found out that her birthday was on the 13th. So
Happy birthday.
there was a fun quote in there that she's always looking on the bright side of life. So that's how she
Stays.
says she lives to 100 years old. So congrats to Miss Sable Matz and
Happy
many more
birthday.
years. Happy birthday. Other fun stuff. Pickleball. We had a staff pickleball outing supported by Sarah, not supported, but put together by Sarah Applebaum and Tina Pritchard last Friday. Amy was there. We had a lot of staff from Code there. With some public works guys. I got to play a little bit. Thanks to the pickleball group that's down there. They had 4 people out there kind of teaching us how to play. Even Halpin was out there hobbling around with his bum toe.
I would break both myself.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was
Would you
beautiful
go
day.
back there?
No,
No.
you'd get hurt and we'd have to, we'd be paying for something forever. And she hurt herself on the courts, but it was a lot of fun. I thank Sari and Tina for putting it together and everybody who showed up. It was a lot of fun. I think we'll do that again next year.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Oh, yes. And while you said that, we did do an employee appreciation a couple weeks ago downstairs, and it was nice to see a lot of the employees come. We had snacks and we had giveaways and things like that. So because our employees we do appreciate them, and we like doing things after the summer because that is the crunch time. It's tough.
We also had an event that I wasn't able to attend, but I know you and Commissioner Kriebel were there, the Manja Manja event.
Yes.
Had to be, rescheduled because of the 5 days of rain we had 2
Right.
weeks ago. But looked like it was still well attended.
It was well attended. It was delicious. And yeah, the hot shots were hot shots.
Oh, I love
Oh,
long
Yeah.
shots,
the long.
And thanks
It was
to
great.
Marie and Jack at Red Room for putting that on again.
Yes.
It's just a nice community event that Maria really does a lot. Maria Mento also.
Marie
does a
and
lot.
Patty put it.
And Patty.
It reminds me of when I was in St. Michael's grade school. And they would always have a spaghetti. I mean, anybody went to maybe public schools, but I know Catholic schools. They always had a spaghetti dinner and it was a fundraiser. And it's funny because after when I got home that night, I remembered, I'll never forget the time I went to put like a little salt and they were packets. And I picked up a packet of sugar. And I'll never forget that. But I can remember being in the school, in the cafeteria with the long tables, and it was like, like
Sounds
hundreds,
like a crew boat dinner, Ed.
yeah, hundreds of people would come out and it was like a traditional
Yeah.
fundraiser
Yep.
back in the day. We're going back probably 50 years ago. So it reminds me of that. It does, and it is great.
I'm
And
sorry to miss
Patty and Maria, and then the Red Room, they pulled it together. It was great.
Good.
So that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
We good?
Yep.
Okay. We went through our executive session, so, well, the next thing is open to the public. This is open if anyone would like to say anything, nothing related to the meeting. You can raise your hand if you're on Zoom, or if you're in the audience, you can come up to the microphone. State your name and address, and like I said, we try to limit it to a few minutes. If something takes longer than that, then we set up a meeting with the appropriate commissioner. So, do I have a motion to open to the public comment?
So moved.
And I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Audience out there looks comfy. No hands are up in Zoom. Okay, do I have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What was that thing?
Somebody dropped off.
Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion as well.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. How long, Lee?